What's going on, people? Sunil Angel here, and today I am making this vlog, this rant mode activated video that I should have made a long time ago, but never got around to. I know I'm late to the party, but I had to share with you a piece of my mind about the casting controversy of Ghostbusters 2016 and how the media reacted to it. First off, let me get a few things out of the way here. I'm all up for equality for men, women, and the LGBT community, and while I'm here, I would also like to put it out there that I do not think the 2016 reboot of the Ghostbusters movie was terrible. I thought it was an okayish movie, but my problem is how the reboot was handled and how the media labeled the outcry of the fans as misogyny. For those who do not know, Ghostbusters 2016 was a reboot of the franchise that began its life in 1984, starring a group of men who captured ghosts. The film found its audience at the cinemas thanks to its humor and the cast that gelled perfectly together. IMDb rating for the film is 7.8 out of 10, which is pretty good. It even got a sequel in 1989. There had been talks of a third movie since the second one, but Sony could not churn one out. But the success of the first movie led the studio on a path that would turn the Ghostbuster movie in a franchise that is still remembered in many people's mind. That included video games on retro consoles, books, manga, and comics. But that's not it. Ghostbusters even got an animated TV show called The Real Ghostbusters that featured the original characters, not actors, and the series ran from September 13, 1986 to October the 5th, 1991. The series had 140 episodes spread across 7 seasons. The animated TV show was so successful that there was a follow-up animated show called The Extreme Ghostbusters, and it aired in the late 1997. It had 1 season of 40 episodes. The last outing that saw the characters and actors reunite once again was for the PS2, PS3, and Xbox 360 game called Ghostbusters the Video Game in 2009. The game was critically praised and sold over 1 million copies, which is respectable in gaming terms. With a rich legacy in mind, one has to wonder, why would Sony reboot the franchise? The logical answer to that would be because the original cast members were now too old to bust anything. I'm sorry, but I am being honest here. It would have been amazing to see Bill, Dan, and Ernie, well, just these three because Harold Ramis passed away in 2014, don their jumpsuits again with their proton packs. But that was not going to happen. So Sony decided to carry on the franchise by introducing new characters. The problem is, that was not the fans were asking for. When the first 2 movies came out, it was not just grown-ups who saw the film, but the kids too, and these kids grew up with childhood memories of growing up with the franchise in the form of comics, video games, and TV shows. So when the reboot was announced, it was revealed that the new movie would feature new characters. And fanboys and fangirls, I must say, were not happy that the characters they grew up watching and fell in love with were not making an appearance, and the original cast was simply reduced to just cameo appearances in the film. So when it was time for Sony to reveal what they have done with the franchise, what they have done with the reboot, and the trailer came out, fans responded immediately, and it became the 9th most disliked video on YouTube and the most disliked trailer by May 2016. Fans were unhappy with the choice of actors, and because they were women, their disapproval was labeled as misogyny. Trolls only added fuel to the fire that was already blazing high. Feminists and social justice warriors came to the rescue in the most bizarre fashion ever. One that is not only a disgrace to the ethics of journalism, but also a disgrace to Ghostbusters franchise. If you don't believe me, take a look at some of the reviews I picked up from Rotten Tomatoes. Eleanor Ringel Cater wrote in her review on Supporta Report, "After all, these Ghostbusters are female, a notion so catastrophic that a zillion trillion blog boys have had something akin to a collective meltdown. That haze is played by Bill Murray, one of the original Ghostbusters back in 1984, and again in the So-So sequel, only adds to the "take that misogynist idiots" joke. It needs mentioning here that not all downvotes and hatred came from men. There were some women as well who shared their displeasure online, but since the cast is female and they are hated, so it must be men who hated them. Erica W. Smith of Bust magazine wrote her review of the film with the headline, "The new Ghostbusters is better than the original." Yeah, I said it. It should be worth mentioning here that the original has an IMDb rating of 7.8 out of 10, while the reboot has 5.3. Clearly, this journalist has no idea what she's talking about. Rebecca Paley from Pajiba wrote, "To all the internet man-babies convinced that Paul Feig's Ghostbusters Reboot will be the worst thing ever to hit theaters on the basis of ruining my childhood. Sorry, not sorry, you big dopes. It's actually a damn fun movie. I know. She also wrote in a review, "Rowan North is like if Reddit became a person, except without the cursing or rape threats. PG-13, y'all. He does not have a neckbeard physically, but he is a neckbeard spiritually. He is a bullying victim turned bully. A man who thinks his intellect entitles him to obedience and respect from people he believes to be inferior to him in every way. When he doesn't get it, he lashes out. He has definitely used the word sheeple, and not ironically." Wow, this reviewer is not biased in any way whatsoever. Linda Cook of Quad City Times wrote her outstanding review of the film with the headline, "You shouldn't be afraid of the Ghostbusters reboot." Notice in her review, she never mentions the pacing of the script, character development, the quality of the visual effects, or the quality of the film in general, but she rates it a solid 3 out of 4 on Rotten Tomatoes. All the links to these reviews will be in the description box. There are many other reviews out there like these ones I have just showed you that basically shame you if you try and say that you're not happy with the casting choice. The thing is, internet once again misunderstood the entire issue. The issue is not that the cast is all female. The issue is that the original characters are not making a return, but the social justice warriors and feminists are labeling them as misogynist. It was obvious that Sony had a problem with the original cast, now too old to bust some ghosts, and they had to find a solution. Trouble is, they found the wrong solution. There are 3 things I would like to mention here. First, why would they cast an all-female lead here? How can they allow that? Just level with me on this. If they had starred men instead of women and changed their names to the ones in the original movie, do you think all this issue would have taken place? Of course not. Casting women as leads was nothing more than a gimmick implied by the director to appeal to the female demographic, as Paul Feig did previously with his movies like Bridesmaids. Second, Ghostbusters 2016 failed to impress many at the box office, which made feminists cry from the top of their lungs that it was the misogyny of the internet fanboys, which I would like to take the opportunity here and say there were women there too who disapproved of the project, that led to the poor box office collections. This is a poor argument, as evident by the record-breaking box office collections of Wonder Woman, which came out in 2017. Do you know why that happened? Because Wonder Woman stayed true as much as it could to the original source material while being loyal to the original fan base, something Ghostbusters 2016 could not do. And while I'm here, I would also like to mention that Wonder Woman performed very well at the box office even when it was faced with the criticism of starring an Israeli actress in the lead who has even served in the army as part of the 2-year mandatory service, and the film was denied release in some Muslim countries. Third, if Sony really wanted the franchise to move forward, why did they not go with the storyline of Extreme Ghostbusters? For the uninformed, Extreme Ghostbusters was set after the events of the animated TV show The Real Ghostbusters, which showed Dr. Egon Spangler recruiting teenagers to become the new generation of Ghostbusters after the original crew parted ways. Now, I know this storyline would have been impossible to pull off as Harold Ramis is no longer among us, but it would have been nice to see the original cast passing the mantle over to new generation of Ghostbusters as they retire, thus waving a respectful goodbye to the fans that made the franchise so popular and welcoming a new wave of fans. But unfortunately, that was not the case. The movie has gone down the dump as many others have gone, including the Tom Cruise starrer The Mummy reboot. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks a lot for listening. If you like what you hear, please give the video a thumbs up. If you want to see more, subscribe. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good day and peace out.